is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
The time right now is 4:27 here. It is Thursday morning. Thanks for starting your day with us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. A few stories to get to before we get into the heart of our show here this morning, starting with the latest from Governor Holcomb and how Indiana is faring in the coronavirus pandemic. We did learn that Indiana will remain in stage 4.5, kind of that in-between phase before we get fully reopened in stage 5. That stage will be extended now through August 27th. It was set to expire. So all the current restrictions that are in place today, those are going to remain through August 27th across the state. Obviously, we know Marion County has some stricter guidelines right now, but this is for the state of Indiana. So we do know that the state government complex, that's going to open a little bit earlier, August 17th. The eviction moratorium has also been extended through August 14th. That was a concern that a lot of people had brought up as we were still in this lower stage. So we'll continue to monitor this and how Indiana is doing in the coronavirus pandemic. And for that, let's take a look at the COVID numbers. These are reported from the state health department each day around the lunch hour. So here's the latest on the new cases. New cases stand at 630 as of yesterday, bringing the total number of positive cases to more than 64,000 since the pandemic began. Yesterday, we tracked 8 new deaths in the Hoosier State as well, and that brings our death toll since the pandemic started to more than 2,700. The total number of Hoosiers tested, 724,000 more than that. Our positivity rate just below 9%. We also know that we're doing weekly positive ratings at this hour, and so 6.8 positivity as of last week. That was just the week-long total. So we will continue to keep you updated on those numbers, but right now we want to take a turn to our forecast. Alyssa Donovan is joining me in studio today. Alyssa, good to see you. Talk to me about what we can expect in our forecast for our Thursday.
So we are going to see some changes today, Lauren. We've had a pretty nice week for the most part, a little muggy here and there, and as we head through the day, we are going to see some of that humidity return to the forecast ahead of some showers and storms that are making their way in. We're going to start to see some of those showers for southern counties this morning. Temperatures today into the upper 70s and low 80s, and this unsettled weather pattern is just getting started. We're going to see chances of storms as we head into the weekend as well. I'll have details on that coming up in the full forecast.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. Something else we're going to talk to you about today is the census, something that kind of got buried by all this coronavirus stuff that had been postponed until later this year. So if you have not responded or self-reported yourself and your family, they're going to start going door to door today. So Kelsey's going to break down for us what that all means, what you need to tell them, and what you can expect. This is important that you are counted here in the state of Indiana. We'll have more news, weather, and traffic coming up right here on Good Morning Indiana on your Thursday.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Gunfire across the Circle City, keeping Metro Police busy overnight. Developing now at 4:30, the latest on 3 murders happening within just a few hours of each other. Plus,
we have never underreported or hid data.
Coronavirus-related deaths in Indiana's nursing homes are higher than first thought. Working for You, Call 6 Investigates is breaking down the sudden jump in numbers. And another change could be on the way for one of the state's largest school districts. The vote happening today that could impact the start of school for IPS students. But first, here at 4:30, I want to thank you for joining us on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Alyssa Donovan is joining me in studio today. Alyssa, it's great to see you. What can we expect as folks are heading out on the roads this morning?
You know what, this morning things are going to be smooth and clear, but by mid-morning we are going to see those changes moving in. Right now, you can see our temperatures are in the 70s across the area, 76 right now in Indianapolis. So it is going to be a warm start today. And then as we head into the afternoon, temperatures are only going to climb a few degrees. We're going to be into the upper 70s, maybe the low 80s for areas to the south. And what's going on is we have this system that's moving into the area. That's going to bring us the potential of some showers into southern counties by mid-morning, spreading into central Indiana by the afternoon. Could see some convection with this as well as we head through the day. So we could see a few thunderstorms in there, but we are going to see the potential of some heavy showers. You can see a flash flood watch is in effect for areas of southern Illinois. Illinois this morning because we are seeing that system moving into the area. So today we're starting with some showers this morning, potential of those thunderstorms by the afternoon. Highs today into the upper 70s.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as people are heading out there this morning. Here's a look in the downtown area, I-65 and I-70 at the South Split, where traffic is traveling up to speed there in all directions. No issues to slow you down. And the good news, it looks like any of those orange barrels that were out on the roads blocking the ramp to Meridian Street, those have been moved this morning, so that's good news for your commute. Let's take you over to the east side, I-70 here, a view near German Church Road, where traffic's already picking up this morning. Lots of headlights moving eastbound and westbound on I-70. No crashes or issues here to slow you down. Of course, we'll continue to keep a close eye on those roads throughout your Thursday, and we will keep you updated this morning. The time right now is 4:32. Metro Police are investigating a series of murders. These happened within just a few hours of each other. The latest happening with a round of gunfire near 42nd and Post Road on the city's northeast side. Police found a man lying near a guardrail with gunshot wounds just before 2 o'clock this morning. Police say that the victim may have had other injuries. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Just after 10 o'clock last night, Metro Police were called to John Marshall Drive near Midhofer Road and 38th Street. Officers say that a fight happened in a parking area of an apartment building and a man in a wheelchair was shot. The victim was taken to the hospital where he later died. Police have not released any information on a suspect, and they're working to figure out how the shooter left the scene. Metro Police say an argument leaves one man dead on the city's west side. This gunfire happened around 9:30 at an apartment complex parking lot near 34th and Moeller Road. Police say that the shooting was a result of a disagreement that happened hours earlier. We're told officers quickly arrested a person of interest at a nearby gas station. Police say they are not sure what led to the argument. Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department has officially updated its use of force policies. There's now a ban on the use of chokeholds or any similar neck restraints. The new rules create a clear standard for the use of deadly force. It's also more clearly defining the techniques of de-escalation that officers must try before the use of force can be considered. There's also now a ban on officers firing a gun from or into a moving vehicle.
It is progress. One of our demands was for the use of force policy to be reviewed and rewritten. So this is just a portion of it. The other demands still stand. We're still asking for justice in Drajon Reed and Mikael Rose's case. So the fact that we have made progress on one demand is simply a motivation for us to press harder for other demands.
IMPD is redeveloping a training curriculum in line with new policies. Training all officers on these new directives will begin as early as next month. This morning, the Monroe County prosecutor has requested a special prosecutor oversee the case of an alleged racial incident. Sean Purdy and Jerry Cox are facing multiple charges in connection to an incident involving Box Booker that happened back on the 4th of July. Booker, a Monroe County human rights commissioner, says that 5 white men pinned him against a tree and threatened to, quote, get a noose. After argument and interview statements, reviewing the footage, conservation officers determined evidence of multiple crimes involving all parties. However, the Monroe County prosecutor declined to file charges against Booker. Coming up, all new at 6:30, how Rafael Sanchez will have reactions surrounding a call for a special prosecutor. The time right now is 4:35, and we need to take a turn to the latest on the coronavirus and how it's impacting Hoosier families. The latest information from the state health officials show that more than 600 new cases were reported. That brings the total number of coronavirus cases to more than 64,000 since the start of the pandemic. The department also reports 8 new COVID-19 deaths in Indiana, meaning since the pandemic began, more than 2,700 Hoosiers have died from the virus. Well, the new numbers reveal more than 60% of the state's COVID-19 deaths happened at long-term care facilities. Now, this is a significant increase from the state's previous claims that nursing home deaths were half of the state's total. Here's what changed. The state now requiring nursing homes to report all deaths in cases dating back to March 1st. They're also now publishing the data broken down by facility on their website. This after pressure from Call 6 Investigates, AARP Indiana, and other groups. On Wednesday, state officials emphasized the new numbers are still preliminary and they may change.
I do want to emphatically put to rest a concern that's been voiced by some. We have never underreported or hid data, right? We have always reported the aggregate data facilities submitted to us. However, the way we collected data from facilities has changed.
This morning, 95% of long-term care facilities have reported their historical data to state health officials. The state says its previous data collection system was never meant for public reporting. Today, the IPS Board of Commissioners will vote on if students will start the school year online or in the classroom. Superintendent Alicia Johnson recommends that the school year begin with virtual classes only once classes start on August 17th. If approved, this change will delay in-person learning until at least October. We sent a push alert on the RTV6 app once a decision is made. The federal government is highlighting 98 new coronavirus hotspots. This morning, the warning Dr. Anthony Fauci is giving to the governors of several Midwestern states, including Indiana. Alyssa.
And we are going to see some showers moving in today, starting this morning for southern counties, potential of some storms this afternoon as well. I'll break down the details coming up.
The time right now is 4:40. You can see traffic is moving along up to speed on I-465 near Ditch Road. Traffic is moving along smoothly, as you can see here, both eastbound and westbound on the north side. No crashes or delays to slow you down. Well, here at 440, we know that the U.S. is working on identifying new hot spots after 150,000 deaths have been reported from the coronavirus pandemic. ABC's Alex Prochet says there's now nearly 100 identified hot spots across our country, and there's a debate underway right now as to how to reopen schools in many of those locations.
As U.S. deaths from the coronavirus top 150,000, there are new concerns as the Department of Homeland Security has identified nearly 100 virus hotspots around the country.
What happens if you are really in a hot zone? Then you got to be careful.
The troubling trend is playing out across 30 states. In the South, Florida and Texas are having their deadliest days yet.
They're exhausted.
ER doctor Robert Rodriguez is working on the front lines in Brownsville, Texas.
We're trying everything. But these patients are extremely sick.
Dr. Anthony Fauci telling ABC's Dr. Jen Ashton he's especially concerned about potential outbreaks in Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana.
You may be getting into the same sort of trouble with those states that the southern states got into trouble with.
There's also the question of how to safely reopen schools.
Putting hundreds and thousands of young people, teachers, and staff together in enclosed spaces like school buildings is an invitation for a COVID-19 super spreader event.
Yesterday in Jeffersonville, Indiana, about 70% of students were back in school with masks and social distancing. But in Orlando, nearly 300 students are under quarantine after one person at an outdoor graduation tested positive.
She's just like any other bubbly little girl out there. She was perfect.
And now the mother of Florida's youngest victim is speaking out after her daughter died less than a day after getting sick.
I don't think these kids should go back to school.
Education Secretary Betsy DeVos acknowledged there is no national plan for schools.
There's not a national superintendent, nor should there be. Therefore, there's not a national plan for reopening.
Secretary DeVos isn't alone in that assessment. Many experts, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, believe that decision should be made at the local level. Alex Prochet, ABC News, Washington.
Thank you. The time right now is 4:43. Our Hiring Hoosiers initiative provides you with information about all things job related. For some using public transportation to get to and from work, they'll now have better protection from the elements. More than 18,000 people commute to Plainfield every day to work in large distribution centers. Many of them ride the Workforce Connector shuttle running between the end of Indigo's westernmost stop through Hendricks County. The connector has 2 routes and now 3 permanent bus shelters.
You know very well how challenging it is to get employees to job opportunities. So this is an important day.
The new shelters are located at All Points Parkway and Smith Road and Reeves and Whitaker on AirTech Parkway. For job opportunities in the Warehouse District, you can look for this story on hiringhoosiers.com. And some more job news for you. RTV6 and the Indiana Black Expo are teaming up for a virtual Hiring Hoosiers Employment Opportunity Fair. This is happening today from noon until 4. Quality employers are coming together to help you take the next steps in your career, and immediate job openings are available. To get connected, you can visit IndianaBlackExpo.com. Indianapolis Colts have started arriving for what's often a sign football season is right around the corner. Training camp. The checking in process for players has turned into a multi-day process. Most of everything will be different in the coming weeks. Head coach Frank Reich and GM Chris Ballard talked about the biggest adjustments.
We could be the most disciplined team, the most mature team in the league, and you can't stop. You can't stop it all. There's some things you can't stop and that you have no control over. So it's a maturity to not only handle it the best way we can, but also if something does happen like that, we just can't overreact to what's happening.
There's going to be sacrifices that are going to have to be made by all of us. Everybody that's in the building right now that's with a tier, players, coaches, staff, we're all going to have to make sacrifices. And it's the ultimate. It's just like the ultimate test of discipline.
The team won't be on the field for a couple of weeks. Coach Reich says that they hope to hold 2 preseason practices at Lucas Oil Stadium. The rest will be at the team complex. Time right now is 4:45 on our Thursday. Let's get a check of our forecast right now with Alyssa Donovan. Alyssa, as people are waking up on this Thursday, what can they expect?
You know, we are going to see an okay start to our morning, but then we are going to see some changes coming in very quickly mid-morning. We're going to start to see some storms moving into the area. They return today. We have the potential for some heavy showers throughout the day and some thunderstorms. Now, we're not under a severe risk, but we do have the potential for some hail as well as some strong winds as the system moves across the area this afternoon. This unsettled weather pattern is setting up today, and it's going to stick with us over the next couple days. No day is going to be a washout, but we are going to see the potential throughout most of the 7-day forecast for some showers or storms nearly every day. Right now, we are seeing those temperatures in the 70s. Humidity has come up a little bit today compared to what we saw yesterday. The good news is we're going to see those temperatures drop off as we head through the day. So we're seeing the warmest temperatures this morning. We'll see them come up a little bit mid-morning as that system approaches, and then they'll drop off as we head through the rest of the afternoon. So what's going on right now? We have this frontal system set up just to our west. That's starting to approach Indiana. You can see we'll start with a lot of cloud coverage this morning, mostly calm winds, and then we will see those winds pick up as the system approaches, bringing us the potential of some showers. So here we are on TrueCast. 5 a.m. this morning, and you can see just starting to see those showers moving into those southwest counties. Those red spots mean the potential of some heavier downpours at times within this cell as it moves across the area. Moving into central Indiana by the early afternoon and into the evening hours. Areas to the north, you're going to see your temperatures a little bit cooler, but we also could see some more convection up there, which means the potential of storms as well. So widespread chances of storms today. Again, we are not under a severe threat. That severe threat is well to the south. You can see Kentucky just under a marginal risk, but we can't rule out seeing some hail, heavy downpours, and some gusty winds with this system moving through today. Taking a look at our temperatures, we're starting with those warmer temperatures this morning. We'll be into the upper 70s. Those chances of showers and storms really throughout the day, and then we are going to see the potential of showers and storms nearly every day in the 7-day forecast. This is going to be our best chance of really the most abundant storms in the 7-day forecast. Tomorrow we have a 30% chance, Saturday a 40% chance. So no day is going to be a complete loss when it comes to showers. We'll see some peaks of sunshine, but we are going to see those chances of storms with us through at least Monday.
Alyssa, thank you. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out the door this morning. This is I-465 and I-74. This is on the southeast side of town. Everything here is traveling smoothly this morning. No crashes, no delays to slow you down in this spot, so that is good news. Let's take another look, though, across town. This is over to our west, I-70 near State Road 267, where you can see interstate traffic is moving along up to speed in both directions. You're looking, though, at some construction equipment off to the side of the road. This is for an ongoing construction project. The ramps from State Road 267, northbound and southbound, connecting onto eastbound I-70, those are closed through early November. So just keep that in mind if that's part of your commute. But everything on the interstate is moving along just fine this morning. Well, it appears that cigarette smoking is making a comeback. Tobacco companies say they expect cigarette sales to drop half of this year's original prediction. The industry officials say fewer social interactions created more opportunities for people to light up. They also say strong regulations on e-cigarettes made people decide to go back to cigarettes. The CDC blames nearly 480,000 deaths each year on cigarette smoking. Medical expert Dr. Anthony Fauci and former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick are being honored. They'll receive the 2020 Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Ripple of Hope Award. The award is given to people who are leaders for social change. Fauci is one of the leading voices in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Kaepernick protested police brutality by kneeling during the national anthem at NFL games back in 2016. This year's gala will be hosted virtually. This morning, a star quarterback in the NFL is putting his new wealth to work. Earlier this month, Patrick Mahomes signed a lucrative 10-year contract extension with the Kansas City Chiefs. The deal is reportedly worth $450 million. Now, the Kansas City Royals say that the 24-year-old has joined their ownership group. Mahomes is no stranger to baseball. He has played at the Texas Tech for just one season, then he quit to focus on football. Mahomes' father was also an MLB pitcher for 11 seasons. International eyes of golf are looking upon Crooked Stick here in Carmel, and it's a dream come true for Carmel's own Luke Prahl. His story coming right up. And students returning to the classrooms across central Indiana coming up all new at 5 o'clock. We're taking a look at the process to make sure that students stay healthy. It is 4:50. Stick around. We'll be right back here on Good Morning Indiana. Welcome back. Some of the best amateur golfers in the world are in town as future stars of the PGA Tour compete in Carmel. As sports director Dave First explains, the lineup includes a young golfer who feels right at home.
Pete and Alice Dye's Crooked Stick Golf Club has hosted its fair share of prestigious tournaments. This week, add the Western Amateur to it, the third oldest amateur championship in the world. This is also where you'll find Carmel's Luke Prahl.
How special to have an event like this right here at your backyard?
It's pretty cool. I've heard this is like the Masters of amateur golf, so it's pretty cool to have it at my home course and have the opportunity to play in it.
He's used to the driving range here, used to playing this course, and used to having Dad around, even when the original path was thought to be baseball.
I was a baseball player. I don't know if that had any influence on him as a kid or not.
Blame Dad.
Blame Dad, exactly.
I was getting bored of baseball. I don't know. It wasn't my sport, so I started to get into golf and started playing well, and that gave me the motivation to keep playing well. Kept getting better and better, and here I am.
He started getting serious just 5 years ago. Along the way, he won last year's state junior PGA championship, and this spring was going after a third straight team title for Carmel High when the pandemic shut down all sports.
From Carmel, Indiana, Luke Prahl.
He's set to continue his career at Purdue, taking every experience with him.
It is what it is, I guess.
It is what it is, yeah. Move on to the next thing, so hopefully we do that at Purdue, so that'd be nice.
I met Phil Mickelson's dad at the Ryder Cup in Valhalla, and I said, this was back in 2008, and I said, any advice for a young father just trying to introduce his kid to the game? And he said, keep it fun. So it's kind of been our motto.
A sign of the times for the Western Golf Association, asking everyone to stay 6 feet apart. But Luke's path has only just begun. In many ways, the sky is the limit. And that's when the real fun can begin.
Have you thought about a big goal in your career?
I'd like to go pro. That's the ultimate goal, but we'll see how I play in college.
One day at a time, or one tournament at a time?
One tournament at a time. One tournament at a time.
It is truly an international field here at Crooked Stick. 156 golfers entered, so you can imagine the storylines, but the idea is that Luke Prahl's will be one for many years to come. At Crooked Stick, Day First, RTV6 Sports.
And we don't have an ideal golf day today. Temperatures in the 70s across the area this morning and this afternoon. Showers move in mid-morning. Potential of some storms this afternoon as well. We could see some hail as well as gusty winds and heavy rainfall. Looking ahead to the rest of the 7-day forecast, you can see chances of showers and storms stick with us through the weekend and into Monday.